my the end of my
Victoria, please, can
this
you
thing.
refresh your page?
Yeah, so the first technology that we're going to be talking about is Power Platform. And Power Platform is I like to call it a bundle of, or a family, or for lack of a better word, a bundle of technology products from Microsoft that are hosted on the cloud, or they are cloud dependent, and they have sort of different aspects where you can use to solve different areas of your technology problems, or your day-to-day work problems that you're trying to solve. And what I mean is, so inside Power Platform, we have Power Apps and Power Automate. Power Apps is where you can build an app just like software developers would do. But now you don't have to write all of the plenty code. Then there's Power Automate. Power Automate is where maybe you have a routine task every day. You have to fill one thing into one document, and you just feel like instead of doing that thing manually every day, you can use Power Automate to automate such tasks. Of course, the mentors are going to tell us details about all of this. I'm just trying to give a general introduction to Power Platform. And the other one is Power Virtual Agents. Power Virtual Agents is I know that many of you, if you shop on an online website like Jumia, immediately you log in, you see something by the end asking, "Oh, welcome, Olainka. How can we help you today?" They are called bots. You can use Power Virtual Agent to create such bots for your websites and whatnot. And the last one is Power BI. Power BI is the one that is used for data analytics, where you can analyze your data, create visualizations, and share them with your team members. So I would um, I would invite the mentor for that person that's going to be teaching Power Apps and Power Automate to just talk about what Power Apps is about, what you would learn, and then you can decide if it's something you like or not. So, can we have Power Apps?
Okay, hello, good morning. Uh,
Morning.
yeah, my name is Joy. I will be speaking for the mentors for Power Apps. We apologize. They're caught up in some back-end activities, and hopefully before the end of the session, we hope that they will be able to join us. Okay, who's projecting, please? Okay, so thank you very much. Yinka has already done a very good and awesome job in explaining to us what Power Apps. Just before I just do a little flesh up on what she said, just to remind us that what TechStylers is trying to do is to say that we want to help you from your betting stage, your crawling stage, till you become the expert. So in this beginners category, we want to assume that some of you don't even know how these technologies work. We're going to assume that some of you probably have, in the course of doing one or two activities in your present job, have heard about these terminologies and technologies, but want to go deep. So what we intend to do with the session is to ensure that we can help you at the end of each stage be able to speak authoritatively on several of the solutions that we will be displaying. Power Apps, like Yinka has explained, over the years, the world has dealt with data and information. And if we look, in where we are today, over 86% of companies today use Power Apps. And what's Power Apps? It's Microsoft's own way of helping us automate processes. The value out of so many things that you see today is because it's been automated. A lot of people think that technology is going to come to displace them from their jobs, but they haven't understood that technology is only going to come to help enhance. And so what Microsoft has done is to say, you have several processes in your organizations that people who do it presume that they need to still be manual so that they can show value. And so whenever they hear the word automate, it's always perceived that you only have to be a developer, or you have to know how to hard code, or you have to know how to use deep programming language. Microsoft is coming with powers to say you don't necessarily have to. If you have several processes in your organizations that you need to automate, and they are not complex and out of the box, you can start with basic automation using Power Apps, and you don't have to know all the wonderful development languages. Today, every organization with Office 365 will be using Power Apps. And this is the interesting thing. Most organizations today are already using Office 365, especially with the pandemic and the need. Hello, can I go on? Okay. Especially with the pandemic and the need for people to go online, a lot of organizations began to subscribe to Office 365. Microsoft has bundled Power Apps with Office 365. So the basic automation process already exists. So imagine if you already work in an organization that uses Office 365, the value add you can bring after this session, showing your organization that they already have this. They just need to start using it. As you get into the intermediate and advanced stage, yes, there are extra things and extra type of licenses that will be required. But like we mentioned, we're focusing on the beginner level. And at the beginner level, we want to show you what you can do with what you have. So you'll be able, next slide, please. You'll be able to automate processes in your organization just using basic Power Apps. Please, next slide. Who is presenting? Next slide, please. Yeah, so like I mentioned, Power Apps is helping us to provide low-code development environments to build customers. So you don't necessarily have to go and worry about learning the Python, the Java, basic processes. Imagine that people came in for this session that we're in today, and we want to be able to automate the attendance sheet, and we don't want to give them physical form. Imagine going for trainings in 2022 and still dealing with physical paper that you need to put your feedback. Okay, imagine your leave request still being done on paper in some organization. As long as that organization has Office 365, basic automation can happen. You can begin to automate things like that. Imagine your business still managing inventory from paper method. What Microsoft is saying is that you don't need to go out of the way to learn deep dive programming language. Using low code developments provided in the Power Apps, you can automate this process. And not to bear you with all the deep, because like I'm sure if you look at the slide, you've seen big grammars like Dataverse, SharePoint, SQL. If you're already familiar with technology, these words might not look new to you, but if you're not familiar, these are some of the technologies that are bundled with the Power Apps. The mentors during your session will try as much as possible to balance those who don't have any knowledge of this and those who already have but just want to begin a career with it. But one of the things we want you to know is that this is going to be one of the most interesting sessions, because with this, a lot of organizations that have already made investment in Office 365 can begin to see value. Next slide, please. Okay, so in summary and in a nutshell, repeated processes that you deal with, you can use the Power Automate. So I gave example, your leave request, your inventory, your attendance sheet, basic repeated automated tasks. You can have this closed out using Power Automate. Next, please. Yeah. And then combined with Apps, we now have what we call the Power Virtual Agent. For those of you who met Yinka when she was doing the introduction, she gave a brief description. She gave you an example of a website that you land, and some of you see the website that says, ask me here. Some of you go ahead to chat. The truth is, in recent times, most of those chat box are now automated. They are automated bots. If you pay attention, really, you will see that sometimes when you ask them certain questions, the way they are responding is very programmed, and then you're wondering, no, but I said this and the person is repeating this. So, but guess what? Organizations have sat down to say that we can close out more than 50% of our requests and inquiries using automation. We don't need to employ people to sit down to just ask the basic question. And then when we have done all those basic check and want to go into the real customer service, the guys have spent extra hours. So let's get the automated boss to do all the question and answer. And when we get to what exactly is the issue, we can move it to the customer service team. What this has done is that it has helped a lot of organizations increase response time and provide more value. Now, Microsoft also has included with the Power Apps in Office 365 what they call the Power Virtual Agents. And this will enable you to create powerful chatbots that you will use. Again, no code, no out of the box or complex coding, basic example. So one of the things you'll be enjoying in your session with the Power Apps and Power Virtual Agent mentors is that they will show you how to create chatbots, especially for your company website. Now, I can see hands up. Don't worry, we'll get to questions, especially for those of you who have businesses that are building up now, your building website. This is one of the most interesting things you want to inculcate. Next slide, please. I know we're working with time. Please, Yinka, always prompt me if I'm talking too much so that we don't eat it all people's time. Yeah. And then, like I've explained, not too much details. These are one of the values. You can engage with your customers. You can empower subject matter experts. You can talk more on specifics. So you don't have to people come in and then you can go to specific questions. You know what people will ask. Oh, I cannot do this, do this, do this. I made an order. Yes, those basic questions, the bot can help you respond to it. And then when you get to the actual problem, you can now move it to a physical agent. Next, please. Okay, so in summary, just load the whole page. Yes, this course will run for 5 Saturdays. Next, no, go back one bit, please. Just one bit, quick, so that we run. Yeah, this particular fundamental course will run for 5 Saturdays, right? And just hold on a minute. You need to mute yourself.
That's what I'm doing. Sorry.
Okay.
All right, sorry about that. All right. Okay, so this course is going to run for 5 Saturdays. Am I still echoing, please?
No, it's fine now.
Okay, this course is going to run for 5 Saturdays, and it will start precisely on the 2nd Saturday of February. The essence is to take you to, at the end of this, we're expecting that you should be able to write the fundamental exams. If you really are going to be in this session, trust me, if you put your head into what the mentors will be teaching you, you should be able to write the MS 900. Please, next. And then the certification roadmap is where you are today. You are at the left-hand side, you're starting. So you're going to have online courses, instructor-led training, and then you'll be deep diving into things like business value of Power Platform, the business value of Power BI. The interesting thing with the Power Apps guys is that they will do a little bit of touch with Power BI, even though we have a full session on Power BI, but just so that you understand how reporting is, business value of flow of Power Apps. And then at the end of the day, you should be able to write the PL 900 Power Platform fundamentals, and that makes you a certified Power Platform fundamental person. We encourage you, if you're going to be interested in this, to make sure you attend all the classes, and at the takeaway, you will be available for trainees and internship roles around Power Platforms. Okay, and then you should be able to also write the PL 100 and 200 that will allow you in Power Platform, App Maker, and Functional Consultant. You would be able to boldly apply for job roles around technology support engineer, Power Platform developer, automation engineer, and data analyst by the time you're done with the fundamental course. And then you can see the need to move into the intermediate and the advanced. Thank you very much. Next slide, please.
Okay.
Yep.
Maybe we should take the questions before we go to Power BI.
Okay, that's
Betsy,
fine.
your hand has been up.
Let's also encourage people to drop the questions in the chat so that for those who don't want to speak.
You can drop the question in the chat box. Betsy, you have a question. Your hand has been up. If you can't have Betsy, Winnie, can you ask your question? Your hand is also up. Please unmute your mic and ask your question.
All right, good morning, everybody. Thank you for this opportunity. So I wanted to actually say that her screen wasn't showing anymore while she was talking about the opportunities around the Power Apps and all. So it went off. That's why my hand was raised at the time.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
You can just do a quick slide back one step and then leave it there, and we take the next question.
Oh, quite
Becky, are you
interesting.
here now? Aminu, let's hear your question. Your hand is up too. Aminu Yakubu, or is it a legacy hand? Okay.
Okay.
If we have none of those, I think we can go to Power BI. Like she already said, please, if you have any questions, please post them on the chat. Prince Laoye, do you have a question? Your hand is up.
Do me one favor, please. Back. Just a deep dive into the people who will be taking this session. I think we skipped that.
Okay, should we just do charts then?
Yes,
Prince
please.
Laoye, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, I want to commend this platform for bringing us together, but we want some clarity. The theme and everything is sounding for the women folks, and so we the guys, how we want to know how integrated this program will be for us. Thank you.
Like I said before, we are a women-focused organization, but men are welcome to join us. And as you can see on the chat, there are quite a number of men. We have a guy as one of our mentors too. So as much as we are women-focused, we are also, our arms are wide open to receive the men. But like Fonyi always says, just be used to being in a room full or 80% full of women. Does that answer your question?
Okay, and then just to
Yes,
wrap
thank
up,
you very much. Thank you.
and just to wrap up, these are the people who will be taking you in the Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power Virtual Agent. We have wonderful, seasoned technology professionals who have done this over the years, and they will be doing justice to you guys in the next 5 weeks. Thank you very much.
Emmanuel, your hand was up. Okay, it's down now. Emmanuel, please ask your question. After Emmanuel, please let's drop our questions in the chat box. I think we'll be able to move faster that way. Just drop your
Okay.
questions in the
Good morning. Good morning. Oh, Mama, good morning.
Good
morning.
Yeah. So my question is this. I don't know because I find it difficult joining this program this morning. And I also want to know, is it possible for a recorded tutorial so that we can be able to join when we have time to be able to go through the trainings? I want to know if that will be possible, or we must join at the same time that the meeting is going on.
So, okay, so two things. There's two directional answers to your question. The sessions are usually recorded. In the email you received, you must have seen a link to our YouTube. So our recorded sessions are usually uploaded on our YouTube. However, because the classes are practical and hands-on, it's important for you to be in the class and be preferably doing your own thing while your instructor is doing it, so that as you have questions, you can walk through it together. And also, after this class, we'll also take you through, once you download your Microsoft Teams and set up properly, in the future, you should not have challenges joining the session. So we'll have a plan for that. Thank you. Power BI.
Thank you, ma'am.
Again, please drop your questions in the chat box.
Okay. Yinka, can you hear me, please?
Yes, you can be louder though.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Is it better this way?
Yes, we can hear you. Go on.
Okay, my name is Gloria Bakama, and I'll just talk a little bit on Power BI. Please. Okay, Power BI is a business intelligence tool These are mentors that will take the classes. We have Franca, myself, Chioma, and Yinka. So Power BI is a collection of softwares, apps, connectors that help you turn or churn your data into insights. Power BI simply speak about insight, the insights you get. We have data everywhere. Data is everywhere, but insight is what is lacking. And with this tool, you're able to connect to your data, no matter where your data set is, as long as you have transferred your data set from your paperwork and you have saved it electronically. With Power BI, you'll be able to connect to those data sources and you'll be able to draw insights. Now, within the course of these 4 to 5 weeks, we will be going, we'll be talking about Power BI, how we connect to all these data sources. And most times, no data is clean at the time you're getting it. But most of those data, they are useful. So we're talking about, we'll also look at how we're able to clean up those data and get the insights that we want. It's actually, when we connect with those data, we'll look at the technology of how to clean up this data, take out the useful ones, things that we want to do from that data, and give insight to the organization or to your business. So it's a tool for enhancing what you do. So Power BI also has visualization. From that data that we have gathered, we're able to draw up with visuals, show to our organization or show to ourselves what insights we have from that data. Inka, please, the next slide. Hope I'm audible. Now you can see from our slide that no matter where your data source is from, if it's from Excel, if it's from Azure, if it's on the web, if it's from SQL, if it's a structured data, don't worry, Power BI can connect to your data no matter where it's your data set is. All you just need is to show you how to connect your the data using your Power BI desktop to connect to those data sources. So whether Excel, Access, different ways that our data are being stored, we'll connect with them. It's quite easy. And when we have connected with them, you can see the arrows that we have here into Power BI. And these are the insights we have from the data that we have gathered. Next slide. Okay, we'll be showing to our students that will join us. The first thing you need to do, next slide, Yinka, please, is for you to get the Power BI desktop sitting on your local computer. Once you have done that, that's the starting point. That's the very starting point. So we could connect, you can connect with that data. And after that, Power BI, you can also share your data with your colleagues. You can share your data with your boss. You can share your data on the web. So that's through Power BI service. And even if you're on the go, so there's Power BI mobile. You can have your data right there on your phone. So Power BI is a business intelligence tool. It's actually a beautiful tool to work with. It's beautiful to gain insights from our data. Why Power BI? So you could share your queries. There's shared queries, no matter where you're connecting from a data source. If it's a data source that refreshes itself on a daily basis, there's no problem with that. We show you how to connect with those data. And as soon as there is a refresh on the data set where it is, you will also see that refresh on your system as you're working alongside with that. So it's actually a very beautiful tool. So within the course of this 4 weeks, we've actually divided the class into 3 sections, the beginner, the intermediate, and the advanced section. By the time you're done with this section, you'll be able to write the DA 100 exams. That's the Microsoft certified exam for Power BI. So you become a data analyst. You'll be able to analyze data from wherever it is coming from. And a lot of job openings for data analysts. If you can use Power BI, you can use any other data analysis tool like Tableau and all that. So Power BI is richer, for me, than all these other tools. So it's quite friendly. That's the Power BI itself is quite friendly. It's something you could do. It's something. So we when you look at it, we implore you to just join us if you're interested in data. So we'll teach you how to draw insights from that data. So as I conclude, we'll also be teaching how you'll be able to analyze, how you're able to visualize your data. You don't just pick any visuals, and just use, because there are over 300 visuals on the Power BI and more, even on the Microsoft store. So you look for the right visual. We'll tell you which visual goes for this, so that the basic thing is your insight. And when you publish, you're able to get a dashboard when you publish your reports. So we also teach you how to design a dashboard using Power BI. Thank you. Hi, Yinka. You can take questions. Come down.
Okay, now I've told you to type the question in the chat, so
Okay.
I can't see any questions for now. So I guess we'll go to the next one. Victoria, can go to the next slide. I think we'll have Azure next. Victoria, yeah, Azure. If your hand is still up.
Please, I don't really understand the Power BI. Well,
Like, do you have a specific question or you just don't understand?
I just don't understand because I'm new to Power Platform.
Okay, I'll just
Power Platform is okay. Go ahead, Yinka.
Okay,
Sorry.
like we had said, or I've said before, if you were in the beginning, Power Platform is like a family of a lot of tools, technology tools from Microsoft. So Power Apps and Power Virtual Agents are different parts of that family, and Power BI on its own is a tool that you can use to analyze data and visualize data. And the beauty of it is just that you can connect to data that are from different sources on your system. So you have your data in OneDrive, you have it in Excel, you have it on your website or Twitter. You can connect to that data from Power BI and connect to that data from those different sources. You can analyze it, clean it, and do all the different things you want to do, and then create visuals like pie charts, and of course different kind of visuals are available in Power BI. And then also share it with your team members and do a lot of other things. So that's just basically Power BI.
Okay, thank you.
Do you understand now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Azure, yeah, up, please.
Okay. Good morning. Oh. Hello, is somebody still speaking?
No, Azure, go on. We can hear you.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Titilo Kwebile. I'll be taking the Microsoft Azure track with Oluwatosin. So, can you go to the next slide? Next slide, please. Okay, thank you. So what is Microsoft Azure? Microsoft Azure is actually a cloud service that is provided by Microsoft to offer different or various cloud computing. And when we talk about cloud computing, we talk about the ability for you to be able to rent resources. Let me put it that way. I believe can you mute if you're not speaking, please? So this is distracting.
Sure, you can continue now.
So yes, like I was saying, cloud computing is actually a platform that allow you to be able to rent, or any organization to be able to rent services or to rent resources. I would take it more like, if I would say, really, there's no cloud. It's just basically somebody else's data center, rather than you hosting, renting a building, setting up all the infrastructure in terms of power, cooling, the hardware that is required, and all of that. So you rather, okay, put that burden of getting hardware, getting all of the underlying resources that you need to run your business smoothly. You rather put that burden on somebody else, like Microsoft. So Microsoft offer Azure, and Azure is a cloud service that offer you various services that are now categorized into what we call infrastructure as a service. Infrastructure as a service is actually take it exactly like you want to set up your own data center yourself. That's in terms of, you have to, all of those things that I make mention, the physical infrastructure in terms of building, the cooling, the power, the rack, the server, the networking, and everything, even the physical and the logical security of it. That is something like, that's what we call infrastructure. So now Microsoft is saying, okay, they are going to set up all of that for you. The only thing you need to do is just come and run your application within any of the within the infrastructure environment that they have in Azure. So that way, all the burden of managing that infrastructure fall on you. They are only giving you the server or the hardware for you to use, even though you don't even have access to that physical hardware. But managing your own application, taking care of the security aspect of it, taking care of the patching, the operating system patching, the application patching, that falls on you. Then the other service that is also offered by Azure is what we call platform as a service. So take platform as a service in this way. Let me use a simple website to maybe describe that for you. So you have a website, you want to start up your business, and then you have some pages that you want to display, you want people to be able to see. Now you have kind of put those pages together, but you need somewhere actually to host it. Or those that are developer, you know how to code, you have your different coding, the languages that you have already selected, but then you need a platform or a place to host it rather. You don't want to care, you don't care about the underlying server hardware and every other thing. So Microsoft offer you that, which is under the platform as a service. So you can just bring in your own code, bring your own application. They will take care of the patching of the operating system, patching of the application itself, which is unlike the infrastructure as a service, which you have to take care of. Then the third major service that is also offered by Microsoft is what we call software as a service. So software as a service is a situation where you don't have everything inclusive, is already handed over to the service provider, which Microsoft is going to be holding for you. So example of such service is Microsoft 365, or even these teams that we are using right now, which is part of Microsoft 365. So Microsoft will set up the physical, they'll set up the application, they will take care of the patching, take care of installing even the application. The only thing majorly that falls on you is when it comes to you managing your users, managing your data as that is being hosted or being generated by each of those services that are hosted on the software as a service. So like I said, example of such service is Office 365 or Microsoft 365. So can we go to next slide, please? So what we did here is to, just like it has been said by Olayinka, the Azure track is actually it has 3 courses under it, and we are going to be starting with the fundamental one, which is AZ900. Based on all that has been said, so this is going to be running. Is going to run for 4 Saturdays. Next slide, please. It will run for 4 Saturdays, and then, oh, sorry, sorry. So it will run for 4 Saturdays, of course. But now, after completing the first course, which is the AC 900, you will be able to have the understanding or general understanding of public cloud generally, and then now focus it on Microsoft Azure and understand all the fundamental, all the resources, all the services, how you can use them and all of that. And then you'll be able to write the AZ900 exam. Victoria, can you go next? You write the AZ900 exam. Now, we do not want you to stop there, just like Olayinka have said earlier. We want you to move further by you, after writing the AZ900, you should also move further to write the other exam, like the intermediate exam, which is the AZ100, that's Azure Administrator. And then finally, you can write AZ3, sorry, that's a mistake, AZ350. So actually, to achieve the expert level, you actually, before now, you need 2 exams apart from the AZ104. But Microsoft has just released a new one that will be replacing those other 2 exams. So that's why I have just 3 here, then the number is wrong. So can we go to the next slide, please? Next slide. Oh. Victoria, okay. Then you have to present from my end. All right. So what's really on the next slide? Minute? So, okay. So majorly, this is just more to show you of after the first series, after each of the track in the certification part, which the first one, you should be able to write, like I said, you should be able to write the SZ900 exam and be able to get jobs like internship program in any organization, and even go beyond that, at least to start managing the basic services or the basic functionality of Azure. And after that, you can move to Azure Administrator. Once you are able to complete all of the track in the Azure, you'll be able to go for roles like cloud engineer, Azure administrator, infrastructure engineer, solution architect, and so on. There are more job roles that fall under Azure, but on the basic level, these are the available job roles that you have. So I think that's the end of my slide. If anybody have any questions for me, you can drop it on the chat so we don't take time. Thank you very much. That'll be all from my end. Inka, over to you.
Yeah, next slide, Victoria. I told you all that we have a man in the mentors. Hi, Japheth.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Can you all hear me clearly?
Yeah, Victoria.
Okay, great. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining this call. This is me. Fun fact about me, I was born into a family of 4, 3 ladies, and definitely me, who is a guy. So it's really interesting to be back again amongst females. I'm Jaflet. I'm a Gold Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. I am an artificial intelligence enthusiast. I love talking about artificial intelligence, focused around Microsoft 365, Power Platform, and adding artificial intelligence into it. In this, is the slide still trying to come up? I can't see the slide yet.
Yeah, we're just trying to refresh it. You can continue, just a few seconds.
Okay, great. So I'll be running you all through the artificial intelligence track. And in this track, we're going to be learning about what artificial intelligence is all about, what really it is about, and we'll get to build some AI solutions. Now, when we talk about artificial intelligence, what basically comes to your mind, or what might be coming to your mind whenever you hear artificial intelligence, is movies about robots, how robots are going to take jobs, how they are going to kill people, all of those weird things. Don't be scared. Take a deep breath. That's not really what artificial intelligence is about. Artificial intelligence is more fun than we think it is. And it's really about machines, trying to help machines mimic human interactions. So try things that humans.
Jafflet, please, can you unmute your mic? Sorry, I think somebody muted you by mistake. Please unmute your mic, Jafflet. Okay, Victoria, let me grab the screen from here.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'll just quickly share my screen from here. Just a second.
Okay.
Can you see my
So
screen?
if the slide can't come up, we can just work.
It's fine, Jafflet. Can you see my screen?
Okay, it's coming up. So, like I was saying, basically, we'll be focusing on how machines get to replicate these different characteristics in humans. Now, there are different parts of artificial intelligence, but the key part of artificial intelligence that makes machines do all of the things they get to do is called machine learning. As the name implies, machines get to learn from all the data, whatever instructions. It could be data in form of rows and columns, or it could be data in form of what people have done in the past, and then it tends to find key area similarities between all of them. I can see your slide now. Thank you very much. Now, something to take note of is artificial intelligence is not automation. So if you have so many ifs, if else statements, that's not artificial intelligence. As I mentioned, machines get to learn themselves. They get to act like humans. Some key parts which we'll be focusing on in this learning course is how machines can see. That is part of Microsoft Azure, which is called cognitive services. So cognitive services helps your machine learning solution or your AI solution to be able to see. We have what we call natural language processing. We have what we call natural language understanding, and a lot others. Don't be scared. We'll get to break down all of these big grammar and try to work around how these different parts work. A key part which you might have noticed the mentors who came to do introductions talk about is chatbots. And chatbots works with what we call conversational AI. And so we'll get to have a brief review of how conversational AIs work. So what are the key takeaways? Artificial intelligence helps you replicate things that humans can do. So the same features that humans have, that is what we are enabling machines or whatever solution we are building to also do. At the end of this course, which is going to last for 5 weeks, you are going to be able to take the AI 900, which is an Azure AI Fundamentals exam. We're going to be building all of these solutions, making use of Microsoft Azure, which the last mentor just talked about what Azure is about. So we'll be building all of these solutions on Microsoft Azure. I'll be leaving the remaining time for any questions. So if anybody has any questions about anything they would like to ask related to AI and the learning path, you're free to ask now.
I don't think there are any questions. So nobody's hand is up and there's nothing in the chat. AI is for chatbots. No, someone is asking if AI is for chatbots, not just that. Jafet, please, can you just...
Okay, so like I mentioned, chatbot is just one part, or conversational AI is just one part of artificial intelligence. There are so many other parts of artificial intelligence which we'll be talking about. Conversational AI, where chatbots belong to, is just one out of the so many applications of artificial intelligence. I hope that answers your question. Okay, great. So not to worry, just in case the rest of us are trying to think about questions. Okay, I think I can see
There's
one other
another
question.
question in the chat. It says, can AI preempt our basic processes for simplicity?
Okay, so as I mentioned, artificial intelligence works with what we call machine learning. And what machine learning does is, or what it simply means is, your solution you are building gets to learn. So if, for example, you have done this in the past, it gets to see this, figure out the similarities between all of those things and works around it. A very simple example is your fingerprint. Now, whenever you're trying to, start making use of your fingerprint feature on your mobile device, you notice that you have to input your finger multiple times. Now, what the AI system does is it tries to find trends between those processes and then comes up with one single different feature that it would use to identify your finger. So you can have multiple processes, and then what it does is, okay, tries to figure out the unique features between them and works with it. I don't know if that answers your question.
All right, so let's move to the next track, Microsoft 365. Joanne, are you on? Thank you so much, Jaflet. So we'll be sharing the time. We'll be sharing the time for each of the classes at the end. So please don't go yet. Stay true to the end so that you know the time for each of the classes every Saturday, and then you can plan your schedule for the next 4 to 5 weeks around the timing of the track you want to join. Joanne, okay, are you on, please?
Yes, please. Hello, everyone. Good
All right,
morning.
so you can take over the screen.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Just need to speak a little louder.
Okay, all right then. So I would actually be sharing from my screen. We made some updates to the slide. So let me just share my screen. A moment, please. Please let me know when you can see my slide.
Yes, we can, but it's not in presentation mode yet.
Okay, it should be now.
Yeah, it's fine now, John.
Okay. All right then. Once again, good morning, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Just as my other colleagues did earlier, so I just want to quickly walk you through, for those of us who signed up for the modern workplace track, right? What does it entail? Right. At the end of the day, what's going to be your major takeaway and all of that, right? So, and why should you even consider joining this particular track in this cohort, right? So, first of all, I'm sure the question on everyone's mind is, what is modern workplace? When you think modern workplace, what comes to your mind, right? For some of us, we are fresh graduates. Some of us are already working. Some persons are in various industries looking to come into tech. So when you hear the word modern workplace, what really comes to your mind? So in terms of from a Microsoft point of view, when we say modern workplace, we're actually referring to a suite of tools that basically help to improve employees' productivity, right? So especially, with the COVID and all of that, a lot of people had to now resort to working remotely, even till today. So many people, especially in the tech field, are working from home, right? And because of this, we need to be able to, of course, there are different tools that everyone makes use of. It could be Word, Excel, PowerPoint, basic tools that you already know, right? Even Microsoft Teams, which is what we are using to have this session, right? So tools that everyone was already so familiar and so used to making use of. We had to continue to use them during COVID times and times of working remotely and all of that. But how can we also ensure security, right? So all of that is really what is covered in modern workplace. How can you set up that environment and ensure there's compliance, there's security, and all of that, right? So when you say modern workplace, you're talking of it's agile in the sense that the processes change, updates are, you can wake up today and then an app has been updated, which of course many of us are already, I'm sure it's something that you're familiar with, because you wake up today, an app you have on your mobile device is already updated with like new security features or new user features and all of that. It's flexible, so you can decide to use your apps in a certain way. You can decide to scale it up, so you can decide to just focus on using certain applications, and another team member is using other ones to just be productive. And the end goal is really just to give you access to harness the power of the cloud, right? So in this track, you're really looking at, we are starting from the basics. So what is cloud computing, right? How does this relate to me? How does this relate? Okay, if I'm new to if I'm new to a workforce or what have you, right? What is the cloud and how does it even affect me? How will it be relevant to me? Right. So the image on our screen really showing us, Office 365. Office 365 is the productivity suite that comes with Microsoft, that is offered by Microsoft. So when you talk modern workplace, you're really talking of Office 365 or Microsoft 365 as the case is. So it has different tools within it. So sorry, can we mute our mic? Thank you. So it has different, there are various apps connected that make up Office 365, like your Microsoft Teams, even the Power Platform is a part of Office 365, Power Platform that my colleague spoke about not so long ago. So Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, all part of Office 365, Yammer, SharePoint, OneDrive for Business, right? All these tools, their main purpose is to make you more productive, right? So, we are looking at Exchange, which is basically email, your calendar solution, managing your contacts. Of course, Microsoft Teams, which gives you access to your video conferencing and then allows you to chat. You can collaborate with your team members, right? And then SharePoint, so like a cloud repository for document management. So it's really introducing you to the tools that are used in the workplace, right? The tools that make collaboration within the workplace a lot easier and better. And then Microsoft 365 or Office 365 sits on Azure, right? So the Active Directory, that's like the area where contacts and identity, right? You're looking at identity management. How can I manage identity in my environment? How can I manage security in my environment, right? So all of that is integrated with Office 365. Now, so because, from basically all I've said, you can already tell that the whole idea of Microsoft 365 for modern workplace is quite robust, right? But then, like Yinka said in the beginning, the first step really, we are starting with like a beginner's training, which is going to be for 4 weeks. So the goal of the beginner's training is now to give you the fundamental idea, to prepare you towards writing the basic exam, which is the MS 900, right? So that's the beginner's exam. So with this beginner's training, you are learning, okay, what is even cloud computing, right? How does it relate to me? What is Microsoft 365? What are the apps within Microsoft 365? How can I make use of these apps? How does the environment even look like, right? We'll be doing demos, we'll be having live sessions. You're actually going to create a trial tenant. Yeah, sorry, you're going to create a trial tenant, and you get to actually play around with the environment to understand how it works, right? And looking at security, how can I implement security rules, right, in my environment, that maybe in case maybe there is a malicious activity, or someone deletes like a huge number of files or something, for example, right? As an administrator, I should be able to get an alert when such things happen. So where do I set up such alerts and all of that, right? Set up compliance rules and everything. So you're looking at, from a beginner's point of view, where do I even go to get these things done? Then after this first the first training session starting this month or starting next week, right? In the other courses that we would have, you're now preparing for intermediate level and then for advanced level. So intermediate, you are going really deeper into managing Office 365, managing your tenants, service management, identity management, and then advanced level, you're looking at security management, right? The core security rules and all of that, compliance management, device management. Now, you see that we've broken it down in such a way that you are really growing with the course, right? So it doesn't look like everything is bombarded on you all at once, and then you're really trying to crawl your way out and figure out what is what, right? So you're starting from the scratch and then growing from there. So this is just like some of the course prep for certification. Like I said, so this fundamental stage that we are going to start with, it's going to be a 4 weeks program, right? So for the next 4 Saturdays, we'll focus on the fundamental course outline, right, to prepare you towards writing the fundamental exam. Now, some people might look like, why do I have to? Is it compulsory I write an exam? The reason why we encourage you to take the Microsoft certification exam at the end of the training is so that you have an actual certificate to show that, oh yes, I am competent in this area, or in this aspect of managing Microsoft 365. I have the basic knowledge, and when you have that certificate, you can now use it to even apply for job roles as required, right? So some of the courses that you will be finding along the way, you're looking at tenant and service management, identity management, compliance management, some of which I've already spoken about earlier. And it all now leads you to now become, a Microsoft certified or a Microsoft 365 certified enterprise administrator expert. Now, it would be great to have that placed in your LinkedIn, right? That you've gone through all those courses and then you've been able to achieve this particular level of certification. Now, just a quick look at our timetable, right? Starting second Saturday of February 2022. So for the next 4 weeks, the first Saturday we'll be looking at Microsoft 365 productivity and teamwork capabilities. Here would be starting with, what is cloud computing? What is Microsoft 365? What are the basic, what are the apps that come with this and all of that? How can I create a tenant? Right, create a Microsoft. Everyone would actually get to create a Microsoft 365 tenant, sign up, and then start to browse around the environment, get familiar with the environment, right? Then the following Saturday, we are looking at the business management capabilities, then followed by Microsoft 365 licensing and support, because Microsoft 365 has various apps, right? But then what we find, what we've realized is the fact that not everyone needs all the apps within Microsoft 365. I can be a basic user. All I want to do is to send emails and receive emails. there is a license that allows me to do only that. And then my MD, maybe I'm the administrator, my MD now wants to be able to send and receive emails. He wants to be able to store his documents online. He wants to be able to use Microsoft Word. Even if he leaves Nigeria, he goes to Canada and he doesn't take his laptop with him, he still wants to have access to Microsoft Word, that he can buy a new laptop and download it on that new laptop, no stress, right? There's a license that covers that, and so on and so forth. Then finally, the fourth Saturday, we'll be looking at an introduction to, the basic security and compliance rules, and then looking at the environment within Microsoft 365. All of this, like I said, is in line with preparing you towards writing the MS 900 exam. Then the intermediate course, right, which is starting in June 2022. The reason behind some people might look like, oh, the time is so long, but yet again, the reason behind that time frame is so that you can now follow up, write your exams, and then get ready for the next line of action or course, as the case may be, right? So the intermediate starting June 2022, you're looking at these different what's it called, topics and all of that, designing your M365 tenant, how to configure the tenant, manage it, explore, plan and implement, and so on. And then advanced, which is starting October 2022 and preparing you towards the MS 101 exam, right? Looking at more a deeper dive, into security metrics, how to manage your Microsoft 365 security services, implement threat intelligence and all of that. So you can see it gets more technical as it goes on. But there's no need to be afraid or anything, because like I said, you're starting from scratch, you are learning, you're growing as you proceed. And hopefully, even when you're done with like the first stages and all of that, you might be able to already apply for like internship roles that will now give you on the job experience, so you get to actually solve problems and learn better and faster as you go on. Then some of the key takeaways, right? After each of the cohorts, participants should be able to, first of all, write the MS 900 fundamental exam, right? Once you write the fundamental exam, after this first 4 weeks program or course, basically, right, you should now be able to apply for job roles for Microsoft 365 technical support engineer, for support trainees and all of that. Now, this is not even restricted to, I don't know if we have callers from outside Nigeria, this is not even restricted to companies in Nigeria. We are talking of remote roles, we are talking of roles with like Upwork and all of that, right? So with your basic knowledge, you can also put yourself out there that, oh yeah, I can actually manage this environment and I would like to be a trainee and what have you, right? So get to build yourself, right? And then from the intermediate and the advanced trainings, then you can now write the MS 100 and MS 101 certification exams. And those more advanced trainings now prepare you and allow you to be able to apply for bigger job roles like Microsoft 365 productivity solutions specialist, Microsoft 365 administrator, productivity engineer, Microsoft 365 and SharePoint administrator, and then even as a senior Microsoft 365 technical support engineer, right? So you can see there are actually opportunities, right? But you just need to take the necessary steps and remain dedicated to the process. So meet the mentors, some of the wonderful faces that would be taking us through the modern workplace track. So myself, I am Juanita Idowu. I have Sarah also. And then, of course, there's the big madam, Ola Jumoke. So she's also like the co-founder of TechStylers, right? So we would be taking you all through the modern workplace track, right? So we look forward to having everyone, or sorry, not everyone, to having those interested in our classes and a wonderful learning experience. Thank you. So questions can be dropped in the chat box and addressed later, or as the case may be.
All right. Thank you so much, Joanne. So I'll grab the screen from here for the security track. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat window. Joanne, Sarah, or Madam MJ would keep an eye on it and respond to you. Joy?
Here.
Okay, I can see you're coming up. All right.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Again, listening to everybody that had spoken, I was wondering if anybody was asking if the world is beginning to appreciate or encompass technology. What's happening to how these technologies, how do we secure this technology? So you know how it's easy for you to know that you keep your inventory in a book, and when you're going home, the book is in your bag or it's in a safe, so you can say it's secured. Now you have moved your inventory to Azure, automated it using Power Apps, integrated your email system with your Microsoft Teams, and then jazzed up all the reporting using Power BI and analytics. And now your data is out there. You're, as a business owner, as an administrator, you are interested in knowing how much of this data you have control over and how to control it and how to ensure that it's safe. Please, next slide. In the world of today, we all know the recent thing around cybersecurity. There's now a high demand for businesses to do things outside their corporate organization. So things that were locked down inside organizations, we had control. Oh, who wanted the key? Sign the key. Then you enter inside. Then when you're going out, you sign out. So that way we know Joy entered. So if anything was missing between this time to this time, it could be when Joy entered. But now our data is out there, outside our corporate network. So there's a high demand for us to protect and manage this data, especially around the use and the access of this data. We can't overemphasize this, not at all. So looking through all the courses we're going to do at different times, it's also important that a role has been carved, which is who is going to ensure that these platforms are secure, who is going to ensure that based on international standards and framework that we ensure that our data is secure. And so security is now very, very, very important, and that's what ensures that we make sure that attackers do not circumvent these access controls and standards. Next slide. So taking you through this 4 weeks journey, we'll be having one of I call her the I don't know how to, she's like Flash. Okwe is a certified cloud security engineer, and then her skill set, encompasses beyond just Microsoft platforms. And so she'll be joining myself, Joy, and we'll be taking you through this 4 weeks on security, on how to ensure that all of this is properly secured. Now, if you notice, most of all that was discussed was around Microsoft solution. I believe that the TechStylers vision is beyond even Microsoft. So as we expand, we'll be speaking to other forms of security. But for this part that we're doing in the month of February, for the next 5 weeks, we'll be looking at Microsoft security, identity, compliance, and that's the SC900. Our curriculum will be for 4 weeks, and in each of the weeks, we have, this will be the breakdown. You'll be able to look at basic concepts of security, compliance, identity. You'll be able to understand what is identity. In the layman's term, when you say my username and password, that's your identity. So when those of you who enjoy going to Instagram, going to Facebook to talk about certain things that tie to your identity, you need to understand that in the world of digital today, if you give your bet, if you tell someone my birthday is 13th of this, and then finally put the year, you have given out your identity. Anything that can be used to identify you digitally is your identity. So we'll be looking at how to ensure security, compliance, and your identity around the Microsoft solutions. Okay, and then at the end of this, you'll be able to describe what those concepts mean. You'll be able to describe the capabilities of the identity and access management, and then the security solutions, and then look at compliance. When we speak about compliance, what are we saying? If we say as an organization that everybody must have a username and password, and that the password must be XYZ number of strength, we want to understand how many of the ecosystems around it obey or stick to that compliance management. Thank you. Next slide, please. So the key takeaway, what are you going to take away with you in a nice lunch pack? that you can, when you go out of this session, you will have a wonderful lunch, eating and digesting. Full understanding of the concepts of security and identity, an understanding of the concepts and capability of identity and access management. You also understand the capabilities of Microsoft security solutions, and then finally understand what compliance and compliance solution is. By the time we're done with you in 4 weeks, you will have a wonderful lunch pack to take home with you. Next, please. Now, the certification part, for this, you'll be doing the SC 900. However, if you looked very well, you will see we kept talking identity, we kept talking data protection. For the SC, for the security and compliance certification part, we have 4 key. Now, don't forget, if you listen to when we're talking on the M365, okay, the other mentee kept talking about security. Same thing with the Azure, same thing with the Power BI. At every point in time, Microsoft drops little modules of security in these different certifications for you to live in that cautiousness. However, when you focus on saying you want to do security and compliance, it's important that you go through this part. So from the information protection to identity access administrator to the security operations analyst, you'll be able to cut. So once we start with the SC 900, as we go into the intermediate and advanced, we'll be able to take you through these 4 journeys. And that way you would be able to see that you understand security of Microsoft ecosystem. Next. In summary, what are the opportunities that you can get to do with this? Okay, we didn't write that down, but take this as free notes. In the world of today, looking for a job using the old traditional method of taking your CV in a wonderful envelope, going and knocking on a door, while that still exists, it will give you a frustrated 1% chance of getting a job. In the world of today, the world is now global. Everybody is online. The pandemic made us understand that we're a small world. We're together and closely niched by the internet. So it means that if you need to make yourself available in the world of today, you need to be out there. So companies are leveraging platforms like the LinkedIn, LinkedIn and other online recruitment platforms to look for resource. You say to yourself, but I don't have any experience. That's good. Your 4 to 5 weeks journey with TechStylers is your experience. So when you've done with 4 to 5 weeks, go to your CV, tweak it and write training session TechStylers, because you're going to be doing hands-on, and your hands-on is your experience. When you begin to write, you're a beginner and you have the amount of information we're going to give you. Trust me, there's no organization that will not take you. And the world today is global. So a lot of people are looking for remote resources because it helps them cut their recruitment costs down, their human capital down, and you will build from there. So the opportunities are endless, especially because almost every organization today is using a Microsoft platform. So you begin to understand that you are as valuable as the person who is managing any of those platforms, because you decide how secure it is. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, MJ2, as we call her. Security is really interesting, and the possibilities are endless with it. So if you're interested in security, then that class is for you. Like Minka had said, you can take multiple classes, not more than 2. That's what we advise. Otherwise, you will get tired. And then, of course, you have to also consider the timing of these classes so that you don't your schedules don't clash. Okay, so we just have 2 more left. Apologies, I know we are way over time, but we felt this is important so you understand why you are doing what you're doing, and you can stay true to the end when you understand why you're doing what you're doing. So I'll call up Amina next. She's going to talk us through the UI UX, what to expect.
Okay. Thank you so much, Foyi. Good afternoon, everyone. It's afternoon now. Okay, my name is Amina Gamaliel. I'm a UI UX designer and now an educator. So I'm not going to take much of your time. I'm just going to briefly take us through what we are going to be looking at this cohort. Okay, so what is UI? We're going to go through what UI UX is, and who needs UI UX, and we're going to look at the goal of UI UX, and so many things. So briefly, let me just say, okay, what is UI UX? We hear UI UX all the time. We've seen it. Some of us, this is not our first encounter with this, but I'm just going to buttress on the usefulness of UI UX. Why? Because everybody building any form of app, any form of software anywhere needs a UI UX designer. So even for those of you who choose to go for power apps, an understanding of UI UX is going to guide you and help you build good interfaces that your users would be able to navigate very easily. Okay, so what is UI UX? The UI in the UX stands for user interface. The user interface is just like the graphical layout of the application. That part that interfaces with the user, that is what UI is. What does that part look like? Can I easily find whatever button that I'm looking for? What are the texts like? Can I easily read them? What are the images like? Are the images, do the images tell me what the application, the software is all about? I should be able to come to a website or an app, and as soon as I see an image, I already have an idea what the website is all about. So in this course, we're going to be able to explore some of these things. Also, UX. What does UX stand for? Very important. The experience of the user. How easy is it for the user to navigate these applications? Are they finding it smooth, or is it confusing for them? And then we want to, because when a user comes on your site and then they are confused about what they are looking for, chances are they log out and they never return to that site again. So we're going to explore how we can avoid all those things in this course so that nobody comes to your site and then they are struggling. Okay, so what are the key takeaways of this course? Well, first and foremost, we're going to take a look at what UI UX is, which is also known as user-centered design. It's all about the user right now. What is the goal of UI UX? To solve problems. I have a business, I have a service, I want to sell something. At the end of the day, is the UI UX of this software going to be able to achieve that? We're going to look at other concepts like design thinking, empathy, expansive thinking, brainstorming, and experiment. We're also going to look at user research. Before I build any of this software, I need to do a research on who I want to use this software. Who are those people I want to use this software, and how easy is it for them to use this software? Those are the things I'm going to consider before I build a website. We're also going to look at data analysis. When we get this data from our research, we need to be able to organize it in a way that we can pick out the user pain points of these users. What is that issue they are having? What are we trying to solve here? And then we're going to look at concepts like creating personas, also the ideation stage, and then working with scenarios. Also, we're going to look at prototype. You need to have some form of prototype before you launch the final product into the market. We're going to look at testing also, and also another important concept such as information architecture. Okay, so that's it for this slide. Please, next slide. Okay, then week 2. It's also a 4-week course. I didn't mention that. It's also a 4-week course. So I just went through what we're going to in week 1. Now we're going to see a bit of what we'll be exploring in week 2. In week 2, we'll talk about design. Okay, and I forgot to mention also, UI UX is not just limited to software products. It's like a really, really big field out there. So for the sake of TechStylers cohort, which we are basically doing tech products, we're going to just limit it to digital products. So okay, all right. So we're going to look at design. We're going to look at design. Can you hear me? I'm getting a prompt that there's a bad
We can
network.
hear you loud and clear.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Please continue. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Week 2, we're going to look at the design itself. We're going to look at elements of design. what are those things that we need to make our interface look great? We're going to look at colors, typography, layouts, composition, and then images, okay? UI, UX designers are graphic designers, except in this situation, they are designing strictly for softwares, but they are graphic designers, okay? So the other thing we'll be looking at, we'll explore some of the tools. We don't have all the time to experiment with all the tools, but I will explain to you what these tools are, and you can make a decision which one you would rather use. Okay. Some of these design tools, there are many. There are over 100 design tools for UI UX out there, but I'm just going to talk briefly on a few. We'll look at Figma, and then Adobe XD. We'll also take a brief look at a Sketch, and then Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator as well. There are many more. But for the sake of this course and time, I'm going to teach you how to use only Figma. From there, you'll be able to explore the other tools for yourself. Okay? So week 3, next slide, please. Okay, week 3 and 4 now. We're going to be doing hands-on practical. Okay, sorry, next slide. Week 3 and 4, we're going to be doing hands-on practical on Figma. Hello? Can I get the next slide?
Yes, this is your next and your final slide, please.
Hello?
Can you see it?
Oh, okay, yes, thank you. Yes, I can see the network was... Okay, all right. Okay, so the next slide, the next week, which is week 3 and 4, we're going to have a hands-on practical session on how to use Figma to design a website interface. And then the final week, which is week 4, we're going to have we're going to design a mobile interface. Okay, just so you people can learn the elements of this sorry for that interference. Okay, week 3 and 4, we're going to have a practical, hands-on practical section with Figma, and we are going to learn how to do some of these elements placement. And for some of us that are already familiar with Power Apps or are going into Power Apps, we'll be able to see some similarities when we start building with Figma. It's going to also help your creativity to see how you can make your Power Apps application look beautiful instead of maybe a bit basic. So this is a really and I just pray it does not clash with maybe our Power Apps class. But if it does, I'm going to make some form of adjustment so that you'll be able to have a feel of both worlds. While you're learning Power Apps, you're also learning UI user interfaces for your app. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I mean, I don't know if there are any other questions. I think you already answered the question that was in the chat box. All right, so this is the last track for today, and after that we will talk about the timings and how you will be joining the sessions. I don't know if Tosin is on the call. I mean, do you know if Tosin is on the call? If not,
I'm on the call.
Okay,
yes,
Tosin, please go ahead. Thank you.
What I do water, nothing inside.
Good morning, everyone. Morning. I'm Tosin Toye. I'm actually the coordinator right now for the beginners class, where we'll be dealing with Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Those 3, because they're like the basic foundation for a lot of things that we'll be learning, even Power Apps and Power BI. So it's important that we understand. I'm also taking this class along with Fiem, for she's handling Excel. We'll be talking about the different parts of Word. We'll also give would highlight how to go through the Microsoft Word ribbon and how each tab works, from the home page to the insert tab to the insert button, and then to creating documents and saving, formatting them, which is really quite easy for beginners. It's a starting point, because you learn. Just imagine the former times when we used to have typewriters. So this is sort of an advanced version. So that's what Word is. Microsoft Word is. It's a starter, and it helps you create things. Some people here have earlier on have talked about CVs, talked about automating processes, documents, and inventory. So basically, it starts and many times from Word, creating documents and formatting them. So we'll have assignments in Word, and we'll learn how to navigate using bullets, and how to, depending on the type of document you are dealing with. We'll also create things around your CV, your business profile, those kind of documents that are important, and your inventory documents, and just basic office memorandum and all those kind of things. Those will be handled under Microsoft Word. Excel will also deal with creating tables, using functions and formulas, addition, subtraction, buttons, and options. I hope you know that Excel has this feature where you can click on the yes or no option. It will just, once somebody ticks a particular option, it can change it to yes or no. So those kind of functionalities in Excel will be taught during the classes. I will also deal with Microsoft PowerPoint. PowerPoint is also an exciting tool for me. I think it's also a starter for people who are interested in UI UX, because you might find it useful to design. It would give you an idea of how colors are combined, how structures, how appearance of what is appealing to the eye. And so PowerPoint, like the presentations we've had since morning, have been on PowerPoint. So PowerPoint is really an amazing tool. Like you can see, it has helped us to share information, slides across, and everybody's connecting on a single platform. So PowerPoint will delve into PowerPoint, the home button, the insert, design, transitions, animations. We'll talk about even how to insert and record your screen in processes. Sometimes you have a filter to deal with. So those are kind of things that will be. Sorry. So those are the things we will be dealing with. Some of the great takeaways will be that we would, by the end of the class, the beginner's class for Microsoft Excel and PowerPoint, for Word, you would have been able to create, line, edit, format. You would have been able to create, align, edit, format documents. Also, you would have been. Sorry. Okay. There would have been, for one of the takeaways is that for beginners, you'll be able to create Microsoft Word documents. You become a user of Microsoft Word, and you'll effectively be able to format documents, edit them, align, create, and also insert things, and also branding, because Microsoft Word is also a part of branding in our world today, where you can print out your documents from Microsoft Word and use them for company advertisements, company business profile, and all that. So we'll also, those are some of the things that those are the key takeaways from Microsoft Word. Then for PowerPoint, there'll be we hope that after the class you'll be able to create fantastic slides for every kind of occasion, because sometimes you have PowerPoint presentations for business seminars, you have for business proposal, you have for maybe technology seminars like what we're having now. So we'll learn how to create fantastic slides. However, then we'll also we hope to increase the mental capacity of the students, because we'll try to challenge your thinking pattern to stretch beyond just the normal knowing these things. Your thinking pattern, in the sense that there has to be some form of creativity that is born out of using Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Trust me, they are amazing things, regardless of the fact that sometimes it's a very simple tool, but it's simple, but it can get complex. And so we would try to ensure that students' mental capacity is improved, and then they're able to find even using these tools exciting and interesting. So those are some of the things. And then for Excel is earlier on there was someone talking about Power BI for data sources. So Excel is, you can also import data sources to Excel, and you can also export. So one of the things we'll be delving into is they will be teaching how to use Excel and how to use the data you have and how to create data too on Excel, as basic as it is. So then there'll also be, Excel also helps you for mathematical and research. So we hope that after the class you have a better mathematical and research skill using Excel. That's referencing sheets and going through the sheets from page to page or referencing and using formulas. So I hope that by the end of this class, we would have given everyone here an amazing time, and then challenged your thinking and gotten you intrigued at least to join any of the other classes subsequently, Microsoft Power BI or on the Power Apps and all that, because this is the starting point actually. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Tosin. So why this class is new in our cohort, and we're including this because we know that there are some of us that are not very familiar with technology, like we're just trying to get started. I will advise that, we all know ourselves. If you are not really familiar with Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, I think you should really start from here. Especially if you want to go into, say, the Power Apps class or the Power BI class. If you're not familiar with Excel or PowerPoint, you may struggle in those classes, because a lot of Power BI is gotten from, you need to have basic knowledge of Excel to an extent to be able to thrive in the Power BI class, and even the Power Apps, because we use a lot of expressions, and the Power Apps interface is like a PowerPoint slide interface. So if you use PowerPoint properly, you would be able to relate with what is happening in Power Apps. So don't feel shy. If you know they are a complete beginner, please join the complete beginner class. And we always have additional cohorts, and then you can just take your journey on, from there. And if you're interested in things like maybe security or UI UX or even Azure, Microsoft 365, you can then try to do both. But this beginner class, this is important for you if you don't know how to use these tools. And then we take it on from there. All right, at this point, I would call on Madam Titi to help us with the onboarding process. Now, I saw some of you had asked, oh, how do we join these classes? What's going on? So, Madam Titi is going to come up to explain to us how we're going to onboard everyone into the Teams channel. And then from there, she would explain what emails you would expect to see and how you can join the Teams channel, and then how you would join the future classes starting from Saturday. Oh yes, before she comes up, sorry, I want to share the schedule with us. Let me quickly show us the schedule. Yeah, so this is the schedule. This is the schedule for the classes. So you may want to take a screenshot, notes, write in your notebook or somewhere. We'll also share this on the WhatsApp group. If you have not joined the WhatsApp group, I shared the link on the chat. You can join us if you want to. It's just a quick place to get very quick support. And this is the time. Oh dear, I didn't include security. Sorry, please. I think security is also 10 o'clock.
Yes, please.
Yeah, security is also 10 o'clock, please. That's number 8. I forgot to include that. Security is also 10 o'clock. And these timings are Nigerian time. So Nigerian time is GMT +1. All of these timings are in Nigerian time, GMT +1. Please just take a note of your class. Security is 10 o'clock. And what usually happens is for each of the sessions, we record it. So we record the sessions, and after recording it, we upload it to our YouTube channel. So if you attend a class, maybe you want to practice, you need to go back to see what was explained, you will have access to do that on our YouTube channel. All the classes will be there. So please subscribe to the channel. We will not be posting. Before we used to post, oh, we have uploaded. No, I'm not going to be doing that anymore. If you're interested in the video, subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that when we upload it, you will know that the video is there and you can go and watch it. Okay. Any questions around the schedule before I hand over to the to conversations on the onboarding? Yes, I can see somebody's hand up. Yes, please. Kumi, do you want to unmute your mic? Hello, Kumi. All right. Then we're going to have a physical center in Jos. So want to say a big thank you to Go Virtual Africa Hub. Tabitha, one of our mentors, has offered us her office space. So if you're located in Jos, sorry, I don't really know Jos because I don't live there, but you can just ask on the WhatsApp group and we will direct you to where the center is in Jos. So what would happen in Jos is we would run the UI UX, I think, would happen there, and also the beginners class. So if you want to join, it will still be on Teams, but maybe you don't have a laptop, you don't have internet, you don't have lights in your house, those kind of challenges. You can go into the center in Jos, and the mentors will be there to support you. And if you have a laptop, you're interested in another track, but you don't have lights or you just have some challenges, you want to stay there to attend your class, you just need to let us know. And then we'll make sure we organize that with Tabitha to say, okay, somebody's coming in for the 4 o'clock class or for the 2 p.m. class, and then we can support to make sure that you're fine and you're able to learn in the conducive environments. Okay, Winnie, you have your hand up, please. Can you unmute your mic?
Thanks a lot. Yeah, I already did. Thanks a lot. So what I wanted to confirm is for the security course, I can see that most of the courses are around Microsoft. So are we like, so I saw the schedule. So it looks like we're majorly working around Microsoft, not anything outside of Microsoft. Is it?
For now, yes. The only course we have for now that is outside of Microsoft is our UI UX track. So like we said, I think Joy had mentioned when she was talking that, the bigger vision for TechStylers is to start to have multiple vendor related courses, but for now, we are for now focused on Microsoft tracks. And the truth is, if you have an understanding of Microsoft track, you can always diversify because the principles are the same. AWS cloud, when you do your Azure and you want to do AWS, the principles are the same. So you find it very easy to cross-platform once you have solid foundation understanding of one of the platforms.
Thank you.
Okay. Chris. Sorry. Ojore. I think it's your
Yeah,
first minute.
yeah. Good afternoon. So
Yes,
I
please.
was going, I was going to ask, when I saw the schedule, I was actually interested in doing 2 tracks, but I found out that both tracks actually clashed in terms of schedule. So I wanted to know if I can still run them that way, or it has to be a different track that does not clash with that particular one. Thanks.
All right. So now, if you're a lot of our classes are happening at 10 a.m., I can see about 4 of them. So if you're interested, 5 actually, if you're interested in the class that is clashing, what you can do is you attend the one of higher priority to you, right? So one has to be more important to you. So attend that one. Then the other one as well, we're going to record it. So when we upload it on the YouTube channel, you can catch up, on the channel to watch what was taught later in the day. We'll try to upload it before the end of Sunday evening. So once it's up, you can go and watch it, and if you have any questions, the WhatsApp group is there, and Microsoft Teams, we have different channels. So you can ask your mentor there, ask your questions there. Joy, MJ, I think you want to add something.
Yes, I wanted to add to the lady who had mentioned that she can see we're so Microsoft focused. So first thing is, if you look at the mission of TechStylers, you understand that we cannot just jump and just be teaching blanket. We want to be able to direct people. So first of all, imagine people, remember this is a beginner's class. So our assumption is either you don't have any clue about some of these solutions, but you want to do technology. What makes you, oh God, somebody's up and is distracting me. Okay, better. What gives you an urge out there is the experience you have on a specific solution. That's the truth. So if you're looking for a job, the organization is not just going to say if you have, what will make you stand out is your ability to understand certain platforms that they use. And we had looked and seen that majority of organizations use Microsoft. So we felt this would be a good place to start. And as we mature in, so trust me, you'll be learning foundational concepts that will help you work with any other solution when you come in. That's the good thing. So if you look at even the mentees, there are people who have worked with different solutions, but we're coming to focus on Microsoft.
Thank you so much. Someone has asked again for the timetable. I've posted it in the chat window, so everyone can get it from there. Also, how long will each class last? We expect the classes to last for 60 to 90 minutes, which is 1 hour to 1.5 hours per class. So that's the expectation. So when you want to attend the class, just plan a 2-hour block to be available. But it may not last for 2 hours. It may just last for 1 hour or 1 hour 30 minutes. All right, Madam Titi, over to you. So please let's listen carefully to the onboarding process so that we don't get confused, and we don't miss out vital information, because this is really, really the most important part of this session. MT, please, are you on?
Yes, on. Just give me a second. Let me get my screen from here. Yes. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
But it's not a slideshow, and Titi.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Share the wrong one. Okay. Yes. Okay. So you can still see my screen, right?
the right one. Hello? Hello?
Yes, Titi, go on, we can.
Yes, we can see
Okay.
your screen.
All right, so just like somebody asked how they're going to be joining because they had maybe issue as at the time of joining this call right now. So what we are going to be doing is we are going to be using Microsoft Teams for the duration of the classes, and then we are creating different channels on the Teams, and then everybody is going to be invited into the channel where they can now go into the different classes that they want to be able to attend. Except on the aspect of internet is where the person is complaining from. But if it's not on the aspect of the internet, if it's just to join, once you join, the joining is very seamless, and the subsequent joining or subsequent attending of the class is also seamless. Just make sure you join at least, you know the class is supposed to start at so time, maybe 10 a.m. Make sure at least 15 minutes prior to that time, you have prepared your system down and then you join. So first thing from tomorrow, that will be tomorrow in the morning. Today is Friday, today is Saturday. Yes, from tomorrow in the morning, okay. You are going to be receiving a mail from, sorry for the names you are seeing, is supposed to come from TechStylers. So you are going to be receiving a mail from Microsoft with a title that says Microsoft invitation on behalf of TechStylers. The TechStylers is not showing. Let me use my highlighters so that you can see it. So you receive email that look like this. All you need to do is just to click on that email. And first thing, after clicking on the email, you will have the email like this, exactly like this one, that contain more information and the URL and also the acceptance link. The mail will contain maybe a brief description so that it's easily, the moment you open it, you're able to quickly identify, oh, this is coming from TechStylers for this purpose. So the first thing you need to do is to click on the accept invitation link that is below the link. Once you click that URL, it's going to take you to this next page where it's going to ask you to sign in. Now, when it asks you to, whatever email you have used to accept, you are going to be using the same email address and the password to that particular email. So not that a password is going to be provided for you. You are using the same password for your email. That's what you'll be using to sign in. Once you put your password, then you click the sign in button. When you click sign in button, the next page that will be presented to you will be something exactly like this. So it's going to more like asking for permission, but like I said, this is just a demo tenant we use. You are going to be seeing techstyler.onmicrosoft.com. And then what is asking really is just to be able to go into your email to read your user information in case you have photos, so you can already then you click accept. If you fail to accept, then you can't move forward. So you must accept for you to be able to move forward. Now, the moment you click that accept, it's going to take you to this next page. This next page, you have different options by which you can actually join the Teams channel that has been created. One option is to download a Windows app if you are using a Windows machine. If you are using Mac, it will present you to download an app on your computer. But if you already have the app, it will automatically launch with using your desktop app that you have. But if you don't have, you can use the option of use the web instead. There's time that you also have that there are times you have the desktop app, but you prefer to use the web. Just click whichever one you prefer to use. There, it's just as simple as that. Now, once you finish, after clicking whatever launch option you want, whether it's browser or app, it's going to bring you here. into this team platform, and with this name. So here you have the different channels. So channel is more like a container that separates conversation, or that separates group of that brings together a group of people that are having similar or the same conversation on a particular topic. So here you will see each of them. So for instance, those are joining Azure class, for instance, all you need to do is go to the cloud computing channel, and then you will see all information there going forward to be able to. So after you've done that, so the subsequently, once you do this, that's the end. If any class is going on, as we said, you will see on top of each of the classes, each of the channel, you will see that a call is currently going on. It's just for you to click on that particular call. There's also going to be a schedule that is dumped there, or a schedule that is associated with each of the channels, so that anytime you come in, you are going to just click that, or you can also click from the email that might be sent to you based on the invitation that has been created on that channel. So you can either join subsequently from that invitation meeting invite that will be created. So subsequently, just in case you did not, you don't prefer to do that, if you want to join, you can bookmark. If you are using browser, you can bookmark that page so that you can always just click there. And in case you lose the link, maybe at some point you are looking for it, you can always go back to the email. Now in the email, instead of clicking the accept, you can just click the Teams URL. If you notice the URL starts with teams.microsoft.com, just click it and it takes you back into that page. It's just as simple as that. Just in case, if anybody that does not receive the email, or you probably receive the email and by the time you click, you are getting things like ask the administrator of the environment to add you to the channel. Just let us know. And then we will see how we can resolve that as quickly as possible. So I think that is that's just all. If they have any question, they can kind of ask so that we can direct.
Yeah. Yes, thank you, Titi. Phone is actually quickly attending to something, so I'll just take it from here. My name is Olajumoke Keturiola once again. Okay, so thank you so much, Titi, for that explanation and then the walkthrough. Do we have any question? I see Joyce hands up. Okay. All right. So I do not think we have any question. And some of the questions we've asked in the chat windows, maybe we'll not start taking it one after the other. Or Olayinka, has it been all attended to?
Yeah, we've answered most of the questions in the chat box. I don't think there's any more.
Okay. All right. So I'll just round this
okay,
up.
Okay, yeah, we've answered all the questions.
Okay, that's fine. So I'll just round this up for today, and then I know the time has been fast spent, so bear with us. This is also in a bid for us to make sure that we are as much as possible trying to give you enough information that will guide you into what you're doing. So I'll just end this session by just giving our advice to our mentees. And then one of the things you want to appreciate in all of this is that we have amazing women here, and I'll say that are taking their time to see to that they're investing their time in you to make sure that you grow and then come up to the same level or even more than the level they are right now. And this is something I'll say that you do not take for granted, because one of the reasons why TechStylers is formed really is this main reason to say that if I had the opportunity you guys are having right now, I'm sure there might be a lot of things that I would have done better, and I know that maybe I would have been more than where I am today. So we see that gap. People do not do the right thing just because maybe they don't have the right mentor and all of that. And that is why we decided to take this up. This is free. No one is asking you to bring any money. This is free. Nobody's asking you to say, oh, go and meet your parents or go and meet your guardians to say, oh, bring money, and then you, for you to be trained. And I think that is if I were in every one of us shoe, that's one of the things I'm going to take away. It's free. We have, these are women that are quite very busy. But even in their busy schedule, they are not bothered about that. They say, no, they want to invest in upcoming females also and say that, let's take them to the next level. So I'll say that, please do not misuse this opportunity. Again, interestingly, we have a male volunteer in our midst in the name of Jafflet. This is not easy, I'm telling you. Because he aligns with the vision of what we're trying to do. And because of the passion also he's coming in to say, oh, I'm going to spend my time. Imagine 4 weeks. Some courses are going to take 6 weeks. They're even going to run for the whole year. And you have variety of courses. So please, I'm using a mother's cap right now to talk to you. So if you say, oh, she's talking to me like she's my mother, permit me just few this minutes for me to talk to you that way, please. It's actually very, very important. I'm not taking the position of any mother, but then I just want, let me say I'm talking to you like a sister. I've been there. I know what it is like for me to go through unmentored. I know what it is like for me to go through and get all the tools to work with. And then a lot of us admire, we admire Foyin. We saw Foyin in Satya putting Foyin up. A lot of us see the other people, what we're doing, you admire them. We didn't get there overnight, really. And that's why we said, let us invest in you also. We're giving back. Please do not take this for granted. Now, why I'm saying that setting yourself up for success in this core 3, the things I want to tell you first is this. So, don't be afraid to start afraid. I know a lot of you, there's a lot of questions in your mind. I don't even know where to start from. This whole thing, I see some of the questions in the chat window. Or someone was even asking me, somebody was asking, what is DevOps? There are some terminologies that might be strange for you. That's the truth. But please, do not be afraid to start afraid. You're going to make mistakes. That's the truth about it. In the very first time you're going to start doing all of this, I assure you, you will make mistakes. But that should not deter you. That should not even discourage you. Learn from them. If you're given an assignment and you pass it, please, even if as small as it is, celebrate it. Start afraid. Don't be afraid to start afraid, but just know that one step at a time, you're going to get to that place. And that is what is important. So again, be disciplined. Be intentional about all of this. One thing I used to tell to people is this. As we've started since morning, even though a lot of us are sitting at one position, listening to what all of these lectures that all these amazing women and Jafflet has been talking about, but the truth about it is that the time did not stand still. If only you know that. Whether you fold your hand, whether you sit at a position, whether you do nothing, whether you pick your phone and you're on Instagram, you're on Facebook, you're taking this, time is not standing still. The time is going on. So it keeps, and then your investment in time determines what you are in the next minutes, to be honest. I won't even use the next day or the years to come. Your investment in that time, what you invest in your time to be doing at that period, will differentiate you from the other person. So what I'll tell you is this: be disciplined, be intentional, and deliberate about your goals. The very first thing I want to congratulate all of you for is that you've even taken the very first step, a very bold step to say, no, I want to draw up a career path for myself this year, 2022. And so I want to congratulate you on that. But let's move it a step forward. Be disciplined about it all. Take the time. Make sure that that time that you want to invest, make sure that it is not just when it is time for for the classes. Show up. That's what we're trying to say. I mean, it will be unfair for these tech mentors, like as we call them, to come up. They're using their credits, they're using their data, they're using their time, they're using every of their strength to come teach you, and then you are not showing up. Yes, we may have a lot of things that may hinder us, but please draw up time, just dedicate this. That's why I said be disciplined, intentional about your goals. Connect with your mentor. I mean, it's very important. We all have like tech mentors to you. Beyond this, we also have what is called the 360 mentors, which will be taking you through a career path. I mean, if I'm not sure we're doing that in this first quarter, but whether it's in the second quarter we're doing it, we'll announce that, where you can meet up with a career, with a 360-degree mentor. That is own. Each of the role of these females is for them to be able to guide you in terms of career path, in terms of the way you conduct yourself and all of that, just to guide you, to shape you. That's what. So, and then if you do not have one at the moment, your tech mentor is still a mentor. Please connect with them. Don't be scared of saying that you want to reach out with them. Like, that's why I started with the work. Don't be afraid to start afraid. Reach out to them, ask them questions. One thing that when I was in school, my physics teacher used to say something. Even though my questions may sound very foolish, stupid, he told them in the class. Then he said, one thing I like about Toriola is that even no matter how they make fun of her, and then it sounds very foolish, that the question is foolish, she will still ask the next question. And that is me truly. I want to learn. So even everybody is making fun and say, oh, that sounds somehow. I want to go again and still learn. So make sure that you connect with your tech. Even in the classroom, if you feel you are too shy to say a word, because a lot of us are like that. Oh, I don't want the other people to laugh at me, that maybe what I'm asking does not make sense. Connect with them and then still ask your question. In that way, you will learn. And then as you grow bolder, you can come into the class and ask the question. But I will encourage you to ask questions in the class so that others will also learn. Then hold yourself accountable. That's one of the things I'll say. Make sure that as you start this class, you're accountable. You want to say, oh, these are my deliverables every Saturday. And these are the things I want to walk through during the week. I have learned this from my teacher today, and then he's asking me, they're giving me assignment. I want to be, you want to be accountable to yourself on it. So those are some of the things I'll tell. Now we have the SMART and SWOT goal. I don't know a lot of you whether you know about it. SMART means specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely goals. That's what it stands for. So we use that for a career path. We might not be able to have the opportunity to talk about it today, but definitely before, as we go on, we'll be able to show you how you can use the SMART goal for a career path. Also, look at your strength, which is what the SWOT goal stands for. The S stands for the strength, the W for weakness, opportunities, and what also the threats. You can use that to draw up a career path for yourself. And definitely we'll go through that. Trust me, we'll go through that for you guys, for you to be able to understand and help you as you go on. Again, measure your progress, which is very important. So if you're able to draw up a SMART and a SWOT goal for this career path that you've chosen, measure your progress, whether you're aligning it with what you have drawn up. This will really help you and it will guide you. Lastly, be willing to learn, to unlearn and relearn. If you were in our last session and the inspirational session last Saturday, this is one of the phrases that ended that time. One of my sister, Ellie Lola Adeyemi, said, be willing to learn, be willing to unlearn and relearn. And that still takes me back to the very first thing I was saying. Do not be afraid. So start afraid. Embrace your mistakes. We all make mistakes. If you make mistakes and say, don't get discouraged. If you're given an assignment and you did not get it right, don't let that discourage you and say, I don't think I can make this. No. The little step is what that baby started with before now you can start walking. So just see yourself now that you're a baby in the technology that you started to learn. And then you do not need to be afraid about that. And I'll end this with saying that trust in God. That's me. I'm so sorry. No apologies, really. An apology if you get. I mean, I don't know any other thing than relying on God. So, and whether you're Muslim, whether you're Christian on this call, all I'll tell you is that trust in God to direct your path, and then everything will be fine. So, thank you guys for the time. It's been a very rewarding session for me, I would tell. I mean, I just cannot thank enough all of our tech mentors. You guys have been very amazing. I mean, I feel so proud, and I know for you also feels proud about all of this. We are proud to see this dedication, this commitment. We are not taking it for granted because we know you guys are super busy. But we thank you. I mean, it's only God that can can give it back to you. That's the truth about it. It's only God that can reward you for all of this dedication and commitment to this. And to you guys that have taken the bold step to start, I want to congratulate you once again. I mean, and I wish you a very interesting and rewarding learning experience. So to that, I will be ending my slide and then be handing over to Olayinka. Yinka, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, my mic was muted. Okay. I think that's all. Thank you very much, everyone. I don't know if there's any other thing Femi wants to say.
Okay, somebody said there was a thing I didn't understand. Codes, do we need to learn something about codes before taking the tracks? No, that doesn't mean no. So if I'm to help you to answer this, now you've seen all of the tech mentors, each of what they display. If you feel that even going to the power apps that we talked about, codes and all of that that deals with code, or even the UI UX that is going to help you, if you think it's something you cannot learn, then start with the beginner class. Maybe it's Word that you are comfortable with at the moment. Fine, do the beginners class. Start with the Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. And then probably maybe when you start getting comfortable with it, and then you know all of that, oh, you know, okay, this is PowerPoint, then you now want to do what's going into something like the recordings, because if you know you can't do the class together, you can now go to the recordings of any of the other course. Now you can now start picking them and say maybe you want to add them. Then you can do like, and another thing I want to say, please, I forgot, is that please make use of Google. I mean, Google is the tool that you should hold with you right now. Do not just go there while you do Facebook, Instagram. Well, I'm not against that. That is fine. But make sure that you make use of Google. If your tech mentors take you in the class and you don't understand, Google that thing to get more information. So you do not need to understand code for you to learn something new. So this person asking this question, I will tell you that if you ask for my advice, you will rather fit into the beginners class, one. And then if you fit into the complete beginners class, which will help you, once you start making, then you can now decide to say you want to go and learn any of the other classes. But what they've done here is that you do not need codes for you to learn anything. So I hope I answered your question, Ife. All right. Any more?
There's nothing on the chat. So, okay, thank you everyone for joining. Expect our email on next steps. And the way we turned up today, please let's keep turning up like that for the classes. And I think that will be all. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
See you all next week. Please keep to time. Thank you.